Welcome to the Songwriter Connection podcast, where we look at the craft of songwriting through the eyes of the songwriter. Each week, we make a connection with a music maker, listen to their songs, and hear their stories. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
It's probably been a little while since I've said this, so I'll say it again. The show originates in Nashville, as Kate just told us, and it's where I seem to be surrounded by songwriters, and it's so cool because they're the coolest people, and each one has a great story. We're going to share another one with you. I just love this little lady that's on our show today, and I'll introduce you here in just a little bit. I want to talk about Mark Allen Barnett Tours first. They're our sponsor locally here, and people ask me all the time, what is this Mark Allen Barnett Songwriter Tour stuff all about? Well, first of all, if you've ever seen Mark Allen Barnett perform in a writer's round, but you'll remember him because he's so entertaining. He's funny, but he's also got songs that'll make you cry, make you laugh, make you cry. And what he's been doing the last few years is passing on his knowledge to people. We call him Yoda because he helps us so much. And these tours that he does are absolutely incredible. It's a personal workshop, one day or a multiple day personal workshop for anybody interested in a career in songwriting and in performing. So, and he works on different things, performances, the creation of the song, presentation of the song, which is something he's really helped me so much over the years because I was performing behind a microphone for years on the radio, not in front of people. So he showed me how to transform that. The presentation of the song is so important, but also it's networking, who you know and who knows you. And it's a business, right? It is a business. And Mark will help you navigate through that. Great guy. He'll up your game. I'll tell you, 5 years in just a day or a weekend little workshop. So look for my friend Mark Allen Barnett Songwriter Tours. It's MarcAlan, and Barnett's got an ETTE on the end. We're recording this in the beginning of August, August the 3rd for the 24th release of August, if everything follows the schedule. And Mark is joining us this Saturday at the 12 Keys. We've been having a nice little time at this little place here in Hermitage called the 12 Keys Saloon. They're a beer joint with a music problem. And we do songwriter nights on Wednesdays and afternoons, Saturdays, and they're just a blast. Well, I'll tell you, a few months back, and it's probably not quite been a year, maybe it has been a year, I met this lovely lady at the Cambria Hotel where my friend Randy Driscoll hosts a writer's night, which is absolutely incredible. And she teamed us up one night, and I just fell in love with what you do, your voice, your incredible talent, and your songwriting skills. Dakota Danielle is our guest today. Hi, Dakota.
Hello.
How are you?
It's so good to see you.
You too.
Talk to you.
And we're kind of neighbors too, aren't you?
I know. It's takes me 3 minutes to get here.
Yeah. You timed it up.
I know. I have it down to like a time. I'm like,
oh, that's so cool.
I got 3 minutes to get to Dave's place.
Now, you've got a brand new single out. It was just released in last week, was it?
Yeah. 20. All
right. Can I play this?
Yeah. Okay,
get a load of this. This is Dakota Danielle. You're going to love her voice. You're going to love this song. This is called One Church, Three Town Bar. Three Bar Town.
You probably heard every small town song where you reach the county line but keep driving on to the riverbanks and on the tailgate. You've probably been down a lot of dirt roads, turning up that radio with the stars above, watching them lightning bugs. There's only one way out, but way too much to talk about. This ain't your typical small town in the Bible Belt. We work all week to make ends meet, then take the time, relax and drink. We praise the Lord on Sundays, then throw it down. This one church, three bar town. You've probably been barefoot on the dashboard, saying, baby, turn it up more, singing out at the top of our lungs, yeah, being young. You've probably been heartbroken, knowing you'd see them again in the same old place with the same old friends in the same old town. There's only one way out, but way too much much to talk about. This ain't your typical small town in the Bible Belt. We work all week to make ends meet, then take the time, relax and drink. We praise the Lord on Sundays, then throw it down. It's one church, 3-bar town. In this one church, 3-bar town. In this one church, 3-bar town.
Dakota Danielle is our guest on the Songwriter Connection podcast this week, and that is an actual place. This is what I love about your songs is they're personal and they tell your story. But this is the story of your town, right?
Yes, it is.
Tell me about your town where you grew up. It's in Illinois, right?
Illinois. It's a town of like 1,600 people. There really is one church and 3 bars.
And 3 bars.
There's no stoplight. It's just well, they might have added like one stoplight where it's just like the red lights that blink, but the main
optional stop.
Yeah. Because we still have like 4 stop signs, like a 4-way, and that's like the main road.
And this is kind of middle Illinois?
I would say southern Illinois. I usually, like, when people ask me where I'm from, I say that I live in Effingham, Illinois.
Effingham.
Because a lot of people pass through Effingham to get to like Champaign or Chicago on their way.
And the name of the town is?
Teutopolis.
Teutopolis.
Not
topless, but Teutopolis.
Right. And I usually struggle saying the full name.
Yeah.
So I just say T-Town because everybody says T-Town.
Everybody knows it is T-Town. Well, I like T-Town better. Yeah.
And we are home of the wooden shoes. That's our mascot. The wooden shoes.
Explain that to
me. Could go on and on.
Cloggers in your town? What?
I think we're like a
Dutch, okay.
German town. And there's a whole like story behind it. Every so many years we do that whole like, I want to say the year I turned 21, it was great. We had our it's called sesquicentennial. The whole town, we had like bed races. We blocked off the street. Everybody dressed up in like old attire.
Nice.
Of the like 20s, and it was a whole weekend of just drinking and like drinking games. But it was perfect because I just turned 21.
Oh, yeah.
So I spent that whole weekend. There was like mud volleyball.
Yeah.
The bed races were probably the funnest. And the story behind that is they did one night where they had like a play of the background of our town. So you could go and see that one night. So you found out all about how your town got its name and how it was founded. Yeah. But I don't remember. I was there for the play. Guy's name was Teutopolis, and he said, "Hey, we'll just call it T-Town." Yeah, the rest is history, right? Yeah. Well, listen, it's really a cool song. Tell me who you wrote it and the process and the idea and how it went. Yeah, I wrote this one with one of my good friends, Jessie Lynn Kidd. And I like 3 name artists like that, Jessie Lynn Kidd. Yeah, she's so talented. And I just graduated college, and I will always love my hometown. That'll always, be where my roots lie. And I remember just one day thinking, you know what, it'd be really cool to have a title of a song be One Church, 3-Bar Town. Like, it would be kind of unique, and also it's the truth. The truth, yeah. And I had like a first verse written, and I was just kind of stuck on it. And I originally wanted to write it kind of like you hear all of these small town songs. This is everything that you hear, but this town is like One Church, 3-Bar Town. You haven't really heard that yet. So I brought the idea to her, and she loved it. And she's from a small town too in Virginia. And we just finished it really fast, and I sat on it for years before I released it. Yeah? Yeah. No kidding. But it's always been a fun one. It's out there right now, and I hope that you'll download it, add it to your playlist. I certainly have. So I dig this song. You. I like the sound of it. I think it's right in the pocket. I think it could be a radio hit. I really do. Yeah. I would love that. Yeah. Where did you record that? I recorded it with Colt Caparoon, and he has an in-home studio in Ashland City. Amazing sound in these home studios today. He's great to work with. He definitely captures
my whole loving classic rock and also loving traditional 90s country and stuff like that.
Loves the classic rock. You're a woman after my own heart, I tell you.
Yeah. I do. I like classic rock.
I know you do. I love that about you. You got a friend here with you today because you got a band that you're putting together. Tell us about your cajon player here. I always say that wrong. Cajon? Cajon.
Cajon, yeah.
Cajon.
It makes sense why you say that, though, because it's spelled like...
With a J, right?
Yeah.
J-O-N, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So...
See, I've been spelling it wrong because I pronounce it cajon, so I spell it with an H.
It's an amazing instrument. You sit on it, and it sounds like a drum kit, doesn't it?
Yeah, you basically got a drum in a box. And I take the approach of using brushes to play.
Yeah.
Most people use their hands.
That hurts.
Yeah, and like if you're doing like a long tour, like you're playing for hours using your fingers.
Oh, man.
And so with my band, there was one night... I was home from rehearsal trying to figure out the best way to approach it. And I had a couple drinks, and I was like, oh, let's try one brush. And I was like, oh, let's try two brushes. They're like, okay. You did a rehearsal, and they're like, it works. And so the rest is history. I've been playing cajon with brushes for years now.
It sounds great. We're going to get a taste of it right now on another song. How about another one? And then we'll get back to your story, because you've got an amazing story, and I want to tell everybody about it. So.
All right. Yeah.
Once you do a live acoustic, the dining room table here is part of the show. It's become a character. The old Duncan Fife here. So Dakota Danielle is here with a guitar. We've got a drummer too. We've got it all. So
It works.
Got Travaris on the
Travaris
on the cajon.
On the cajon, yeah.
Yeah, man. Love it. What do you want to do?
Should I do the one that we wrote?
Do we do it
First?
that we wrote? Yeah. It's up to you. It's your show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I should.
I hate it being about
I love this song.
me, but I like the song and I like the way you do it
Well, we
too.
write a lot, though.
We do. Yeah.
So you...
It's about time
We
you came on
write
the
good
podcast.
stuff.
We do. I enjoy writing with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you know what's so funny? I'll set this up. We had Ran and Andy Remfrey on the show just a few weeks back, and they live around the corner too and have an amazing home studio. And we decided they do, and we decided to get a couple demoed with you singing. And Ren always likes give me an idea like the sound you'd want. We're like, well, we're thinking like Stevie Nicks, that kind of thing. And so he lays these tracks, and they're just gorgeous. And we listen to them, and you lay down the vocals. And then I'm driving home, and I get in the car, and playing on deep tracks on Sirius XM radio is an older song that I hadn't heard in years by Stevie Nicks, an deep album cut. And I'm going, oh, this is right. It's like, this is like right. So, and it turned out to be a great demo. So you're going to play for us live. Yeah. Love what you love.
I love this song. Ready?
Ready?
I could be told 1,000,001 times that I got a seat to blue. You see black and white, I can see gray, 'cause I walk the line in between. I love what you love about me. I get lost in the moment, leave things behind, lose everything that I do. You say it makes me easy to find, you follow the trail that I lead. I love what you love about me. When my hair is a mess and I cry for no reason, when I look in the mirror and I'm feeling defeated, you're always there to pick up the pieces. When I'm building walls, you find a way to break through. I love what I love about you. You know that I can't hide my emotions, 'cause I wear my heart on my sleeve. Where I see weakness, you can see strength. You know how hard on myself I can be. I love what you love about me. When my hair is a mess and I cry for no reason, when I look in the mirror and I'm feeling defeated, you're always there to pick up the pieces. When I'm building walls, you find a way to
That's nice. Good job. Dakota Danielle on the Songwriter Connection podcast. I love the way the cone sounds on that. Yeah. The brushes are the right touch. They really
Thank
are.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
Very good.
You get more timbres out of it using these things.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right. Drummers out there, here's a tip for you. Let's talk about songwriting. It's a Songwriting Connection podcast. Now, that song right there is not your traditional verse, chorus, lunch, bridge.
Right? I know when we wrote that.
It goes lunch. Actually, lunch is in there somewhere. It usually goes verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. That's a traditional song. But then there's another type called ABA where you've got it'd be like verse, then the B part, which is also kind of like a chorus.
Yeah.
And then another A part. And there's a lot of songs that are written that way. The ones that come to mind. The one I always use an example is Yesterday by the Beatles. Yesterday.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And the B part is, we had to go, I don't know. So we kind of did the AABA thing, and it came together. I'm trying to remember when we wrote, was it your idea? We've written so many songs.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. But anyway, I love how you do it and what you add to it. And you make it come to life. So. Got a tremendous voice. Let's dig a little bit into your story from T-Town, Illinois, in southern Illinois to Nashville.
Yeah.
Talk about that journey.
That one was a very one of those journeys where everything kind of falls into place. Mm-hmm. I didn't do music or anything.
You're early in high school, right?
High school, yeah. I was really big in tennis.
Really?
My whole dad's side, even my mom's side a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We were all tennis players, and I really loved it. But what happened is I burnt myself out.
Oh, did you?
Because I played through grade school, the summers, junior high.
It happens, youngsters in sports.
Yeah. So in high school, I just kind of was looking for something different to do. Mm-hmm. And I found my mom's old guitar upstairs in the closet. Didn't even know she played guitar.
Didn't know, huh?
And she really didn't play or sing at all. She told me it was just a thing that she would do for her sorority that she was in college. And I decided to pick that up. And I remember her being like, we're not going to pay for your guitar. We're not going to pay for your lessons because you barely played the piano. Because they did make me, I will say when I was 7 years old, they made me learn piano, and I'm glad they did because I did enjoy it and I wanted to do that. But piano is not my thing.
No.
I love it. I love listening to piano.
Do you still play a little piano? No?
Enough to probably write a song or get through something.
Okay.
Piano, you can just you hit one note wrong and it's whoa. You notice, you know what I mean? Guitar, I feel like you can kind of
cover it up a little bit.
You're maybe they didn't notice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't really like the piano.
Yeah, it goes the same way. You hit the wrong beat, everyone's crash cymbals. Everyone's
right?
Oh, that was not the right.
That's not right.
I can't handle that pressure. I like knowing you can somehow make it not noticeable.
So did Mom start to teach you a little bit?
She did not, actually.
No?
I was very stubborn after that point of her being not thinking I was going to stick with it. Mm-hmm. So I'm
going to show you, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was that child. So I went to my high school band teacher, and she started to give me lessons, and I really loved it. I would play along with the track. Mm-hmm. I think my first song was Stand By Me by Benny King.
Oh, I love that song.
And then once I started to play along with the record, I started to sing along to the record while I was playing, and I realized I really liked singing. And I'm doing this all locked doors in a room where my parents won't hear me.
Yeah.
And then I kind of slowly started to write, and I eventually wrote one of these songs about a family member, and I played it for my parents, and they absolutely loved it, and they realized how much I did love playing guitar and singing, and they were on board from there.
I see.
Yeah.
Now you studied music in college, was it?
I did.
Yeah.
I originally went to Southern Illinois University, Carbondale.
Carbondale, okay.
Was gonna go into advertising.
Yeah.
Because I really loved just being creative in general. And I didn't know you could get a career or have a career in music. I had no idea. I was very naive. Mm-hmm. And I got a job at the Daily Egyptian newspaper.
Egyptian.
And I got a job in sales where I would like try to get people to be in the paper and make ads for them, graphic design and stuff like that.
You loved it, right? No.
I quickly found out I did not like it.
Yeah.
But my boss there, two of my bosses at the time, one wrote poetry.
Yeah.
And in college, I would still play my guitar and write songs and sing because I just enjoyed it. Didn't know much from that besides just I enjoy doing this. And he found out that I played guitar and I sang. And he's like, hey, would you like to put music to this poem that I wrote? And I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. And I finished it up, brought it to work, and he showed it to my other boss, who I had no idea until he played the song. This boss, his name was Jerry. I'm still in contact with him today.
Great. That's great.
I didn't know, but he is super into music, recorded and stuff as like a hobby, and he got me to experience all that for the first time. He also hooked me up with my first like singing lesson because I didn't even know anything. Like, oh, singing lessons, that's probably a good idea. You know?
Sing, yeah.
Yeah. And he definitely helped guide me through my career. He helped me figure out that Middle Tennessee State also has a good music business program.
Yes, they do.
And he also helped me out at the college I was going to, Carbondale there. They have a music business program.
So you started there.
I started there. Took a class where we made trips to Nashville once a month.
Oh, that's cool. Once a month?
Yeah. And kind of just toured a certain business each month.
That's nice.
It was really cool. One of my friends who was in the class with me, she's the one who told me about MTSU. And I was supposed to graduate the year she decided she was going to move there. And she's like, you want to move with me? And I was like, I'm supposed to graduate. Do I really want to go to school longer? And I researched MTSU, and they had a songwriting program that they were just starting the year that I would transfer.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? I've had guitar lessons. I now have had singing lessons. And the one thing that I don't know anything about is songwriting. Like, I didn't know. I feel like people who know automatically, like, songs rhyme. I didn't know that listening to music. I was like, I had no idea. It's very, like...
Live and learn.
Right? So I was like, wow, okay, let's learn about this.
Yeah.
And that program really did help me. And
I love MTSU. They have a radio station there that we absolutely love, and it serves this northern and middle Tennessee all the way down to into Alabama. It's their Roots radio station, WMOT, which is just fabulous. You can stream it online. And what I love about them, too, is they take an interest in local talent. People that have actually been on this podcast, like Credenda, have been played on the stage.
They're so talented.
Aren't they amazing? Yeah. So, and you went to school there. That's cool.
Yeah, I had classes in the building that radio station is at.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty cool. So, I mean, what was the first... I mean, imagine sitting in... I'm trying to explain to get it in my head and explain to listeners what a songwriting class would be like. So, I mean, is there different classes, and what was the first one you signed up for? What was it
kind of like one. It was one class. It was called commercial songwriting.
Commercial songwriting. Okay.
And I'm thinking back now. We first learned rhyme schemes.
Okay.
And also. What I really liked and try to stick to this day, because it's hard though when you get really busy, is we would journal every day. We would be required to.
It's important.
Every day have a notebook where we journal in, and then you turn it in as an assignment. Like, I have written in my journal this whole week.
Wow.
Granted, the teacher wouldn't read it, just showing that, like,
right.
You're constantly kind of just exercising that muscle. And we would also learn how to co-write with other people.
And that's important today.
That was a lot of... It was a very cool experience. We would have song topics for certain weeks. And we would get assigned a co-writer, and we would have to write a song about that topic, which really taught me a lot.
I'll bet.
It's hard for me to explain what it taught me and how it taught me certain things, but it was very helpful for me, who didn't even know you were supposed to rhyme in songs and didn't know anything.
And I think you get stronger from the experience. Learn by doing, which I love. And with every song that you write, you get a little better. You learn a little something.
I definitely agree with that. I remember when I first started, I was getting frustrated because some songs I would think would be so like, yeah, I really love this one. Mm-hmm. And I now realize the more you write, you just got to get all of these songs out of the way. The more you write, the more you're exercising that muscle, and it becomes easier to write and think of those like creative hooks and figure out your melody, your sound. That was really difficult for me to realize because I'm an impatient person.
You are.
I am an impatient person. I'm like, man, I want to write the hit now.
Yeah.
But no, it does take time, and I realize that.
Was there a particular song where you said, boy, that's it. There I am. That's my voice.
No.
No.
I will say that, like, what I've written so far is all of, like, my experiences.
Mm-hmm. Write what you know.
Write what I know. One church is probably the one. One Church 3-Bar Town is the one where I'm like, okay, this is 100% me.
Yeah.
This is, small town where I grew up. This is just kind of like overall.
Yeah. And it's a song everybody, I think, can identify with. It comes from a small town. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Pretty cool. Well, listen, I want to take a little break. We put this show on with the help of Red Circle. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, that is a good place to start. They put it out on all the streaming platforms, and they even put advertising in. So I want to take a little break so they can thank some of their advertisers. We'll be back with Dakota Danielle on Songwriter Connection.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection, connecting with music makers and hearing their songs and stories. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Dakota Danielle, who grew up in a One Church 3-Bar town. How about that? And made a great song out of it that you can find on Spotify, wherever you find music. You know what's so cool? This is an interesting time in music, Dakota, and that's what I love about this podcast, getting to know different artists and writers from all over the world, really. And it's an interesting time because, back when you said you loved classic rock, so at the time I was growing up and really loving music, that was the era. And if you didn't have a record label, if you couldn't get a deal, you weren't getting heard, and then things changed, right around the turn of the century, when Napster and all the streaming services came in, it pretty much killed mechanical royalties, which is people buying music today. But it also opened up doors for independent artists because there are so many new platforms to discover good music on. And I think the independent artists like you, as I like to call them, the DIY artists, do it yourself. Mm-hmm. They really are able to build a niche and a following, and you seem to be doing all the right things there. And it's just it's simple things like when you're at a show, you're asking people to sign your guest book, and you create a mailing list, and keep people posted where you're playing. You release a single, you record and then ask people to download it, and you publicize it on all the socials. So there are a lot more opportunities today, I think, for the independent artists. Is that what you're finding out?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you that it is very possible to develop a good career as an independent artist because of all of those platforms, social media, stuff like that. I feel like it can be a double-edged sword, though.
Yeah, it can be.
Because even though you do have all of these cool ways to get your music out there and be heard by different audiences, I sometimes feel like it's easy to get kind of overlooked in this big pool of artists because people can just hear it everywhere.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah.
But you just kind of got to figure out how to, like you said, find your niche and navigate that.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a very cool thing.
Well, we've had artists in the past like Olivia Francis, Shanna in a Dress, and you traveling all over. I mean, seeing the world, all over the country, playing and performing and getting your music out there. You just recently played back in your hometown, didn't you?
I did. I played in Illinois, and I've been traveling a lot this year.
A lot, huh?
Mainly because I just personally live in a bubble, and I haven't been to that many states, so I was like, this is gonna be my year.
Yeah.
And
you went down to Georgia, you and Meg Williams, who was on the show recently.
Yeah.
Down there. Oh, and the Finger Lakes, right? Yeah.
Five Finger Lakes. I've been to Wisconsin. Tried some Wisconsin cheese curds.
Yeah, love them.
It was great. And then there's this supposedly there's this beer that you can only get in Wisconsin. It's called the Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow.
I'll have to have you try some.
I'll have to try. Did you bring some back?
I did.
Oh, cool. Good. Gonna hold you to that.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did you try it, Trevor?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Is it good? Yeah. Now you recently opened up for two really big acts, and so you've been doing a lot of that, opening up for. You were Phil Vassar recently.
Phil Vassar.
Gosh. What a songwriter!
Oh my gosh! Right?
Yeah. Oh man.
And he's the nicest guy ever. Him and his whole band that he had with him is so nice.
Yeah.
That was a great experience.
Yeah.
And even my other opening act experience was, I'm very fortunate that I have had all great experiences doing those opening act gigs.
Mm-hmm. You opened for the Frontmen.
The Frontmen.
And so that's like Richie McDonald of Lone Star.
Yep.
Tim Rushlow of Little Texas. Larry Stewart of Restless Heart.
Yeah.
And who am I leaving out?
It's just those three.
It's just those three. I thought there was one more.
No,
Okay.
those three. And oh my gosh, they still sound exactly like their records.
And those harmonies,
So-
I'll bet, are incredible. Yeah.
So good.
So, wow. So, yeah, that's networking. That's getting it out there.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm sure it was packed houses, too. And
Yeah.
Now, you also recently played at the Listening Room here in town, which is a place that all writers aspire to play, either Bluebird or Listening Room or both.
Yes.
And that must have been a blast, huh?
It was a lot of fun. I played, Macy Crew asked me to play that, and she does those, I don't know how often it is. I want to say it's once a month or twice a month. She does these like girl power
Yeah.
writers rounds. And it went really well. It was my first time playing in that new location there at the Listening Room Cafe.
And it's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It's
Big
a
and
great
nice.
venue.
People come to hear music. Yeah.
And it was a listening crowd, and that was just a nice change of pace. And I had a blast.
Yeah.
That was the first time I lost it on stage.
Lost it. Tell me about
For
that.
a while. I played my two sad songs, my mom's song and my dad's song, and that was the first time I lost it in a long time. Because I think it was because it was a change of pace, and I wasn't used to such a quiet crowd. And when I was singing those songs, I think I was also more, since it was a quiet crowd, I was thinking more about what I was singing and my lyrics. So I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I spinned it around to the crowd and I made them laugh after the sad songs, but that was the first time that's happened in a long time.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important to understand why you were so emotional. You've been very candid about it in the past. You lost both your parents at a young age, right?
Yes. I lost my mom when I was 25 and my dad when I was 26.
Man. That was so hard.
It was definitely
and you're an only child, right?
not the easiest thing. Yes, only child, but I am blessed with a lot of cousins. My dad was one of 9 children.
Wow.
So I have a lot of aunts and uncles, and I have cousins that I'm really close to.
Good.
And I'm very lucky in that aspect. They still stay in touch with me, and we get together. And
That's great. And your dad really always encouraged your music.
yeah,
didn't he?
When I was taking care of him for the last year with just everything that he had going on, he would encourage me to take trips back to Nashville and still, record or just do a writer's round.
Yeah.
And he also would encourage me. He encouraged me to sell their house. And he's like, you moved to Nashville. Nashville's where you should go. So that is that's what kept me from staying in my hometown, was him being like, it's okay for you to leave, this town and make Nashville your home.
So what do you think so far? Do you love this town?
I love this town.
I know it's been
I get
hard.
to write with you.
Yeah.
Of course I love this town.
Well, you got to take the good with the bad. You know what? You came at a really rough time. I mean, you went to college, and you when you move in here, 2019 or so, 2020, just around the time the pandemic hit.
Right when I moved back, with everything that happened to me, it was 2020 hit.
Oh my gosh!
And then I was kind of glad that happened, because it forced me to not dive into being so busy, to where it kind of forced me to sit with my emotions.
Yeah. And so did some great songs come out of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Want to play another one for us? I'm dying to hear another one.
Sure. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Which one?
I can make a request if you care.
Okay.
I love that Being Lonely song. But if you want to say that, yeah.
All right.
It's up to you. Tell us the story behind it.
This is my sassy one.
It's a sassy song. I like it.
This one's based off of, maybe you can relate to this, because I personally don't mind going to a restaurant by myself and enjoying a 3-course meal. I don't mind going to a movie theater by myself watching a movie. And then I'm guilty of this, even though I know it's okay, but I'm guilty. If I see someone sitting by themselves eating at a restaurant, I just unintentionally, I'm like, aw. And I feel like that's a common thing, when for all I know, they could be completely content eating by themselves, or just sitting at a bar by themselves like I am. So I was like, you know what makes other people think just because I'm alone makes them think that I'm automatically lonely? But also, what makes me think every time I see someone like that, I think that too?
Yeah.
So that's where this one came out of. I wrote this one with Jesse Linkett too.
Right. Good writer.
Boy, let's cut to the chase. I know you want to know, how's a woman like me holding her own? Well, I'm glad you asked. Not many understand how I can be fine without a man. You don't have to act like you see lonely eyes in me. It's 'cause I'm sitting at the bar, don't mean I need a drink. You don't have to keep me company. This is fine being empty. What makes you think I can't be alone without being lonely? I come here every Friday, right after work, to blow off some steam. Don't mistake that for her. I'm stuck in my ways, and I don't like change. I guess what I'm trying to say, being alone is okay. You don't have to act like you see lonely eyes in me. It's 'cause I'm sitting at the bar, don't mean I need a drink. You don't have to keep me company. This is time being empty. What makes you think I can't be alone without being lonely? Now don't get me wrong, I'm open to love. You just gotta be the kind of man that won't give up. You don't have to act like you see lonely eyes in me. It's 'cause I'm sitting at the bar, don't mean I need a drink. You don't have to keep me company. This is fine being empty. What makes you think I can't
Absolutely love it. It's a great song. Now, did you record that yet? Is that recorded?
Yes. I actually am getting my final mixes today.
Today? Yeah? So is that going to be a single?
Yes, it'll probably, I don't have a date specifically set, but it will be more than likely early to mid-September.
Great.
Yeah.
That seems to be the way to do it today. There was a time where you did albums, but now today it's especially as an independent artist, right? You do like every few months a single. What's the plan?
I kind of right now I have been researching a little bit, and I'm trying out this thing where every 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm trying it out. We'll see how that goes to kind of like pin those Spotify algorithms and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I do feel like I have more success with singles. When I released my Mother's Daughter EP, I released that all as a compilation, and I feel like some songs got lost in like the streaming and everything, rather if I were to do all of them as singles and then kind of had that CD out. But it's a learning process, right?
It really is.
Learning everything about strategy, stuff like that all the time, and it changes.
Do you work with a promoter?
I work with Elena. She has been my PR publicist on way back since One Church and my EP, everything. Mm-hmm. And now I work with them whenever I kind of want to push a song really, really hard. And
nice.
Other than that, it's just been me for booking and everything.
Yeah, and you do some really cool things. You've got a fan page, and you were sending out packages and things, which I thought was so clever.
I started that in Christmas. I like to test ideas out.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They either fail or I'm like, oh, okay.
How do you know?
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But I tried last Christmas to do this thing where, I don't know if you've ever heard of a FabFitFun box, but it's kind of like a subscription box based off of me as a music artist, where people would subscribe monthly, and every month I would mail them a box of items that relate to things that I've been doing that month in my music career or just in general. So like if I traveled to Georgia or New York, I would bring things back from where I actually played so they could feel like they are following me in my journey. And it went really well. I did like this deal during Christmas time. I called it my holiday gift box special.
So cool.
Where if they did this, they would get 5 months worth of boxes. And it was a lot of fun for me.
Oh, bad. I bet you really built your fan base too.
Yeah, it was cool, and I'm still doing those boxes. I'll probably do another Christmas thing again, and
wonderful.
It's fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
What is next?
There's the big question. I know you got the band, and you're playing was it Thursday?
Yeah, we play. I play downtown every Thursday, 2 to 6, at the Valentine.
Okay. Right on Lower Broad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of close to Miranda Lambert's.
Yeah.
It's like
not too far.
2 hours down, but I'm trying to book more full band stuff.
Good.
Where I do like runs out of town, and I'm still going to be continuing to strive for those opening act gigs.
Good.
Now that I got my foot in the door there, I enjoy it a lot, and I'm like, okay, let's keep going.
Well, I look forward to the day when someone else is opening up for you, and maybe it'll be.
Oh my gosh, that would be ideal.
You ever need an opening act?
That would be so much fun.
Why don't we take it out with another great song and composition by Dakota Danielle, who is our guest from T-Town, Illinois, here in Nashville, Tennessee. So great to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's been good to see you, good to chat.
Always, yeah. Always good to see you, girl.
I'm ready to write our next hit.
Me too. We got an appointment coming up, don't we? Like
we
next
do.
Week, I think, yeah.
I was going to ask you about that later.
Oh, okay.
I know I got it in my calendar.
I know we do. It's in it. I know. What you want to do for us?
Let's end on... How about Small Town Talk?
Small Town Talk?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
This one is... I was making trips a lot from Nashville to my hometown. Mm-hmm. And being from a small town, and if anyone grew up in a small town, they'll be able to relate to this. You get caught up on the gossip pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And one weekend, I was a part of the gossip.
No.
Yeah. And that didn't sit very well with me. So I came back to Nashville, and I had a job at this little boutique hotel, and I was scheduled to work the overnight shift, so 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And everybody's sleeping, so you pretty much just sit there and try not to fall asleep. Brought my guitar that night.
Cool.
And I worked on this song, and I had Jessie Lynn Kidd finish it with me. So that is where Small Town Talk came to be. I'm not going to tell you which one was the gossip about me.
Okay. For another show.
Song for another time. No, I'm just kidding. Bobby got a DUI leaving the bar last night. Lila left with Luke at closing time. Heidi and Hank broke up after 5 long years. Jane moved home from college to live back here. Word travels fast around a place like this. There's no mind in your own business. Truth is stretched and lies are told. Nobody ever really knows. You can get caught up in it all. Small town talk. The old high school's getting torn down this year. People are trying to fight for the memories here. Parking lot by the railroad tracks is the hand. When dirt is spread and secrets go to come out. Word travels fast around a place like this. There's no mind in your own business. Truth is stretched and lies are told. Nobody ever really knows. You can get caught up in it all. Small town talk. It's funny what I've learned about myself and everyone else. Some things are true, but some are wrong. Small town talk doesn't last long. 'Cause word travels fast around a place like this. There's no mind in your own business. Truth is stretched and lies are told. Nobody ever really knows. You can get caught up in it all. Small town talk. Ooh, 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 ooh,
That's beautiful. A lot of truth in there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dakota Danielle, our guest on Songwriter Connection podcast this week. Dakota, where do we find you online?
You can follow me on Instagram at Dakota Danielle Music, Facebook at Dakota Danielle Music, TikTok is at Dakota_Danielle.
Good.
And you can follow my website. It's super easy, just DakotaDanielle.com. It'll tell you where I'm playing. I might be playing in your neck of the woods. Who knows?
Never know. And when you come to Nashville, look her up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still
absolutely.
got a lot of states I haven't been to.
Yeah? Where'd you like to go?
Arizona. Oh my
Arizona. There you go.
gosh. It's been on my list.
Oh, beautiful.
I've just heard great things about Arizona. One, how beautiful it is. Specifically, Sedona.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Oh, I
I've
got to
heard
tell you,
great
Sedona
things about
is
it.
the most beautiful place, I think, on earth.
Have you been?
It is gorgeous. Sedona is amazing. And it's such a creative community, too. You would love it there. In fact, somebody I know recently was just playing there. And I can't think.
Really?
And I thought, wow, how lucky. Yeah. I hope you get there. Yeah.
Me too.
Beautiful. It's gorgeous. It really is. Hey, thank you for being on the show. Thanks for sharing your music and your stories with us. I love that.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and playing live around our dining room table. Yeah, for us too. Yeah, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Yeah, very good. Coming up on the podcast, the next few episodes I want to tell you about, we've got some amazing songwriters. Will Nance, who's an old friend, is going to be on the show, I believe, next week. Will he's had like 2-3 George Strait number ones. He had this big song by Brad Paisley called She's Everything. And so he's going to be on the show. We'll have songwriter, Hall of Fame member Kent Blasey back with us after that. He's got a new album out. We'll talk about it. Hit songwriter Chuck Jones, who's had amazing songs, going to be on the show after that. And we're going to do our first crossover podcast, which I'm really looking forward to. Chad Wilson has a podcast called Deconstructed, which I love because they take a look at the songs and tear them apart, put them back together. So, I love it. So he's going to interview me and I'm going to interview him, and be crossover event, right? I don't know how else to describe it. So some cool things coming up, and we thank you for helping us spread the word as we're a growing podcast, now over 150,000 streams worldwide, and we certainly appreciate you for that. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. Find us on social media at Songwriter Connection. Also, listen to Dave Lanahan's Nashville Connections radio show. It streams live every Friday morning on WOBL and WNOI. Look for us on Facebook and YouTube. See you next time on Songwriter Connection.